Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Money Matters, because after all, money does matter. So, do you want the real analysis on the budget? Are you going to settle with the second-rate stuff that people have been pushing down your throat? What I'm going to do for you this week is I'm going to let you behind the curtain. I'm going to share with you some snippets of this month's Mastermind Insight. You're just going to get the budget bits. If you want the full Mastermind Insights, guess what? You've got to join the Mastermind. I'm Paul Smith, Touchstone Education, and I hope you like what you see. If you want more, join the Mastermind. Okay, so you are behind the scenes and we are setting up at the moment. So Annika's down there doing her technical stuff on all that malarkey over there. I'm going to give you limited access to what the Masterminders get, because obviously you're not going to get the full Mastermind without making that Mastermind investment. But let me show you what goes on behind the scenes. So making myself look semi-presentable, put a shirt on, got myself mic'd up. We are getting ready to absolutely blow the socks off the Masterminders. So you fancy this kind of level of support? What do you do to get that? This is all the kit and caboodle that I've got going on here. I'm going to put you in the first row. You're going to be just behind the big TV, just behind the big ring lights. Really hope you enjoy the content. All right, see you on the other side. Bye for now. Okay, so we are recording. If you enjoy this, let me know. Welcome everybody to this evening's Mastermind exclusive webinar, and I hope you're doing really, really well. What we're going to do is we're going to cover budget 2021. You've possibly heard in the press and other analysis and other kind of critiques about the impact of budget 2021, which was, last week at the time of recording. A lot of people have picked up on the extension of stamp duty holiday. I don't know how many people have picked up on the extension of annual investment allowance. I don't know how many people have picked up on the reinstatement of the 5% deposit for first-time buyers and what impact that will have on property prices. But I want to go like 3 orders of magnitude deeper at the impact of the budget and what we as property investors should and should not be doing. So before we start, I just want to take a 5-minute look at government borrowing and interest rates, and specifically, where does the government get its money from, and why should we, as property investors, care? Look at that. I don't know if this is surprising anyone, but there's a sort of pie chart of government income. Number one, 25% of the government's income comes from income tax. Next, national insurance. Next, VAT, and next, look around there at around about 10, 11 o'clock on that pie chart, it's property taxes. Now, if you add together those top 4 taxes, that actually represents 71% of the total tax take for the UK. I want to ask you this question: what does the government want entrepreneurs to do? Well, clearly, it wants them to reinforce those top 4 areas. And in order to do that, they offer massive incentives. But I just want to explore at the next level of detail. Is the UK going bankrupt? So you can see going back 10, 15 years, whatever that is, we got this transition curve. So it's been flat at around 40% of debt as a percentage of GDP. So that's the total amount of money that UK PLC generates every year. Then what happened in 2008, 2009? Woof, we went straight through this transition curve. Lehman Brothers went bust, all the UK banks went bust, all the US banks went bust. They had to have massive government bailouts. So whew, government debt shoots up. By the end of that period, government debt is way above 60%. Why is that critical? Well, all the international sources say that national debt above 60% of GDP is dangerous. We're rapidly heading towards 90% by the end of 2020. But then COVID happened. Will COVID costs finish us off? We've got this kind of increase up until 2008, 2009. And then gradually, this decade of austerity, that was quite painful, wasn't it? We've gradually paid off that amount of debt. The debt as a percentage of the GDP has been coming down until lockdown. Boom, it's just shot up again. So for all those people that think we're doomed, that is the last 100 years. By the end of World War I, we were approaching 200% government debt, national debt, a percentage of GDP. World War II, we hit 250%. And it came down, not because the government was paying debt off, because that doesn't happen. It was because the economy was growing. And that's where we come in. Our role in life is help the economy grow, provide houses for people, and make money in the process. What the Chancellor has done is he said that, because he needs to start paying back all this money, the tax-free allowance, the 20% rate, the 40% rate, are going to stay there. The rates that we've got now are going to be fixed until tax year 2025, 2026. If you currently, or if people, generally speaking, earn money through a job or whatever, the amount of the tax thresholds where you pay 20% tax, or zero tax, 20% tax, 40% tax, are frozen effectively until 2025, 2026. So as people earn more and more money, they're going to pay more and more tax. Because you already saw the two biggest elements of the government's pie, the government's income amount, are income tax and national insurance. The allowances are not moving. So a load of people are going to get booted into the 20% band, a load of people are going to get booted into the 40% band, because the allowances are not moving. So what this means is, for the next 5 years, even if you think earning money through employment is okay at the moment, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, because as your income goes up, your tax band threshold doesn't, so you're going to pay more and more tax. Earning money through multiple streams of income through other places other than your main job becomes more and more attractive. The lifetime allowance, so if you're going to set up a SIP or a SAS, is £1,073,100. And again, he's frozen it. So for the next 5 years, the maximum amount of money you can put into your pension fund stays the same. That's not nice for me, because previously it was index linked. So, with inflation, it went up. It means increasingly people that have got SIPs need to look at SASs, because with the SAS, you can have 11 people. So if you are anywhere near your personal lifetime allowance, you're probably going to need to bring in other family members, other loved ones, to make sure you don't lose out on your pension investment allowances. Inheritance tax. Now, this is below the belt, in my view. Inheritance tax and the bands and the allowances and the amount of money that you could have before you start paying inheritance tax was index linked. Again, what's he said? He's freezing it until 2026, the next 5 years. Tax and stuff is not very exciting from a news point of view. You can't put, oh no, capital gains tax is going to be frozen for the next X amount of years. That's not headlines on the 9 o'clock news, is it? That's why it doesn't make it into the general media. But we as property investors, we as business people, we as entrepreneurs need to know this, because we need to know how to optimize our investment strategy in line with all the changes that they're making. The amount of money you can make from flipping properties, capital gains tax, whatever, again, frozen. £12,300 a year per person, and that's going to be in place through to 2025, 2026. A bit of a theme developing here, isn't there? So we need to investigate other ways in which we can completely legitimately not pay tax. Okay, corporation tax. This is huge for property investors, because as a result of the Section 24 anti-landlord tax from 2016, when George Osborne attacked the sector, many people started buying properties into limited companies. What are they doing now? Well, they're saying that the 19% current corporation tax rate is going to increase over the next few years to 25%. We need to look at alternative structures. We need to look at LLPs. We need to look at other ways of holding things. We need to understand that an LLP, a limited liability partnership, can have, as well as human partners, it can have a corporate partner. So I believe this gives even more strength to the argument that all of us should understand and know the hybrid structure. There's a little silver lining to this, because what he said is this is only for what he's described as large companies. So up until £50,000 of profit, that corporation tax rate is going to remain at 19%. And then you've got this transitional scale between 50,000 and 250,000. But when you're over 250,000, you're going to be paying the full amount of the new higher corporation tax. I'm at the point in my life where none of this surprises me. Things change, life changes, and you have to be flexible. Everything about my investment principles means that you've got to be agile, you've got to be flexible, you've got to be able to move and change as the scenarios change. Withdrawal of Libor. I've still got Libor-based mortgages. This is interesting, isn't it? Libor is going to cease to exist. This is the London Interbank Offer Rate. That's what it stands for. You might have heard about Libor rigging scandals and whatever. So even though there's clarity that Libor is being removed, there's no clarity about what's replacing it. So I, for one, will be watching that like a hawk. So I understand why he wants to remove it, because Libor was a bit of an old boys club. Barclays would phone Lloyds, would phone HSBC, and they'd all agree, oh yes, Libor today is 1.3%. But they made fortunes by rigging it. So he's removing that ability of a few people to manipulate the money markets, which I salute. What I'm not sure about is what's going to replace it. And I think increasingly the markets will retreat from being influenced by Libor. Well, they're going to have to, aren't they? Because Libor won't exist. And it's going to be more and more dependent on the base rate, the Bank of England base rate. We've got capital allowances. This is huge. This is massive news, and it's good news if you're interested in capital allowances. So that's tax-free amounts of money that you can make on commercial property, on service accommodation, and on furnished holiday lets. Essentially, this super deduction and 50% first-year allowances and all this sort of stuff accelerates the rate at which you can claim these allowances. So previously, on a building, capital allowances might have been spread out over 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. The timescale over which you can claim those allowances has just been massively compressed. Hence, super deduction and 50% first-year allowances. That's good. It means we can claim more tax relief more quickly. Next good news, hopefully you know this, annual investment allowance. So the amount of tax-free income that you can earn for years and years and years was £200,000. That was called your annual investment allowance. So you could claim capital allowances, and you personally could claim £200,000 tax-free per person per year. 2 years ago now, the government announced a temporary scheme whereby that 200,000 was increased to £1 million. It was due to end now, but the Chancellor has just increased it by a further year. So don't know whether you know that or not, wasn't widely reported. My suspicion is that because the government needs economic activity to stimulate growth, spending, PAYE, national insurance, and all the other things you saw on the pie chart, maybe next year they'll do another 1 or 2 year extension. But in the near term, 2, 3, 4 years, that will become permanent. In the budget, the Chancellor announced 8 free ports throughout England. And this also covers Northern Ireland, although to the best of my knowledge, there are currently no free ports in Northern Ireland, but there could be. And he's also put the structure in place so that Scotland and Wales could do the same thing, but as far as I know, they haven't yet. Within the free ports, capital allowances are enhanced. For example, the SBA, which stands for the Structure and Buildings Allowance, in a normal place will be 2%, although they're talking about increasing it to 3%. But in the free ports, it will be 10%. So instead of writing off the cost of a new building over the next 50 years, you can do it over 10 years. So that's 5 times faster. There's all sorts of massive tax advantages for operating in and purchasing property in and around a free port. Here they are. So we have got East Midlands Airport, not too far from Yorkshire. We've got Felixstowe and Harwich, out there in East Anglia. The Humber, ooh, that's nice. If you are near any of those areas, please get your little BI focused on that area, learn more about it. And even if you're not particularly near to any of those areas, choose the nearest one to you, learn more about it. I promise you, it will be worth it. So the government says free ports will begin operations in late 2021, so later this year. Stuff can come into a free port from anywhere in the world, and it won't pay import tax. Companies, individuals, people in those free port areas can then do stuff, add value, assemble things, and then export them again without paying any export taxes. That's the essentials of a free port. It is literally free. Now, if it leaves the free port and comes into the UK, then yes, you've got to pay taxes. But how good does that sound? They are literally tax-free zones. And that's for the next 5 years. And the government's then going to review it in 2026. As announced in the budget, we've got this VAT reduced rate for tourism and hospitality of just 5%. So if you've got a VAT registered SA business, that's on a plate. They've just reduced it to 5%. Happy days. Absolutely happy days. And then even after the extension period for 5%, which is till end of September, it then bumps up to 12.5, and you're not going back to the full 20% until March 2022. Stamp duty land tax extension. And this gets even more exciting on the next slide. So you probably all know this because this has been widely reported. The stamp duty holiday that was supposed to end at the end of March has now been extended for another 3 months, and then extended in a different way for another 3 months. So specifically, as you can see on the slide there, instead of ending at the end of March, it's been bumped out till the end of June, which is an extra 3 months, which is good. At the nil rate band being £500,000. And then for the next 3 months after that, the nil rate band is 250. Now, I love that because our sweet spot, gap, the way we invest, Gordy, Anico, Abbey Paul, we typically buy properties for 150 to 200,000. So all of our property, well, pretty much all of our property purchases are going to be sub 250 right the way up till the end of September. So that is going to save us a lot of money. Stamp duty tax relief in Freeports is here to stay for the next 5 years. Who likes the idea of stamp duty holiday for the next 5 years, not the next 6 months? I just want to share with you that personal tax, so this isn't specifically property, this is just personal. So ISA limit isn't moving, it's £20,000. Junior ISA is £9,000, and child trust funds, again, £9,000. So you might have heard me talking about this before. One of the things that we've done with our younger children is they've both got, so Jenny and Jude, who are the only two children that we've got that are not adults, they've both got child trust funds. Jenny's will mature next year. So we've been saving a few pounds a month for the last 15 years for Jenny. She should get a cash lump sum of about £26,000. And Jude is on course for about 30. Jude is 12. And the final thing that I want to talk about with regard to the budget is home offices. So I've gone way down into the small print of the budget here. And if you are working from home as a property investor, there's actually 2 or 3 different tax incentives that you've got. And so just make sure that you're claiming all of those. I don't know what you're going to be doing for the next month. Here's what I would like you to do. I would like you to, wherever you've got to by now, I'd like you to make this the first month of the rest of your life. So whether you've got no property, £1 million, £10 million, I don't care. Zero it and start again. Go and buy property like your life depended on it. Every single day, week, month that goes by, I'm ratcheting up my ambitions. And every time I do that, I get better results. So I would like you to do that too, please. Hope you enjoyed those tax insights from the budget. And the rest of this session is behind closed doors. Mastermind only. You've been wonderful. I've been Paul. See you next time.